And my little boy's third birthday party coming up in a few weeks, or third birthday coming up in a few weeks. And I assume we'll have some sort of get-together. Well, we will, because...
Well, I got an email from your wife, like, about an hour ago saying, invite me to a get-together.
Yeah, no, we are having a party, and I'm across that, and I know what day it is, and I know what we're doing. And as I'm about to prove, I'm the linchpin of the party, because not a thing happens in that household without my say-so. And I knew all about that.
Yep.
And good. I'm glad she's followed my orders there and invited you, as I requested earlier today. And I don't even need to see the invite, because I'm sure it'll be the one that I made.
I don't know. It looks pretty specky. A lot of,
Yeah, it took me ages.
And it's, it's quirky and,
Yes,
probably.
I didn't want to do a standard one.
It sings, Zoe more than you.
I tried to write it in her style. I tried to ghostwrite it a bit for her. So I'm glad you've fallen for that. Here's the thing, though. I was sitting around and my mum was over, and there was a bit of chat going on between Zoe and my mum, and about, I just sort of I was just tuned in. I suppose like a spy satellite, just picking up a bit of chatter between
listening
pilots.
to a conversation.
Well, I wasn't really focusing. I just started hearing keywords pop out, like, mum going, I could take care of that if you want to make that. And then, he might want this, and okay, well, we go. Then Zoe going, okay, find a place to do that. I said, what are we talking about? So he goes, we're talking about Sonny's cake for his birthday.
Yep.
So what are we getting? And Sonny does change he loves cake, and he changes his request quite often for what kind of cake he wants. Like, does he want a fire engine? Does he want this or that? It's like we're very, 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 very much into the Disney movie Cars at our house. Yes. And he leads the charge. It wasn't the case before he came along. Yes. So it's been assumed for quite a while that it'd be one of the characters from the Disney film Cars. Mater, who's the tow truck, he's getting bandied around a lot. Yep. So I picked up this conversation, and Zoe goes, I'll find a cake store that can just do like a 2D Mater. So like a flat cake in the shape of Mater. You look down on it from above, it's Mater.
Yep.
Right? And I said, but what? Is that just decided, is it? So he goes, yeah, well, I think you'll love that. And I said, but, why are we pretending like we don't have a resource here, a man with proven problem-solving techniques, a guy that can get a job done, that can take a mission on and drive it like an absolute bullock and, from woe to go, see things. I said, well, I'll make the cake. So I was like, yeah, no, that's okay, thanks, Sam. Like, whatever you were doing before when you weren't really listening, you can go back to that. I said, no, I'll make the cake. So now it became a thing of pride.
You'll make the cake.
I will make the cake.
You will make the cake.
I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to stitch me up because you think I'm going to buy the cake and say I made the cake.
Well, you've done that to me before.
I've done it several times. Yeah. I actually won a cake making contest in our family by buying an apple flan, and all the ingredients, and pretending I was making it in the kitchen, and then just pulling the pre-bought one out of the oven. Yeah. No, I will make the cake. I will make the cake, and I tell you what, I'm not going to make Mater. I'm not going to make a 2D Mater.
Make a test cake.
I don't need to.
You do.
Here's what I'm going to do. People familiar with the film will know this when I say it. If you're not familiar with the film, I'm going to make a 2D. I'm going to make a 3D working Mack. Mack's the semi-trailer that Lightning McQueen lives in the film.
Working?
I'm going to have a door that goes down at the back. Because that's where Lightning lives.
I'm
not having an engine in it.
I've downgraded a little bit from this cake driving in all of a sudden.
It's going to have a replica 300 horsepower.
Okay.
It's going to have a door on the back.
And the door's not edible, obviously.
Yep. Going to make an edible door and an edible hinge. Everyone outside's giving me the thumbs up going, should be a problem. What?
The Angus burger.
No, it's not the Angus burger.
This just smells of chicken and cheese.
This can be done.
Guy at the pub,
burger you didn't eat, by the way, because I switched it out to you.
Guy at the pub last night I walked in, the guy at the pub last night goes to me, oi, chicken and cheese, get out of here.
That should be your name, because you didn't eat that burger.
Excuse me? He's like, get out of here, mate.
Yep. Good.
And I was like,
that's the right. That is the right. I support that.
Yelling. Not yelling chicken. My nickname's not chicken and cheese. He goes,
it is now.
He did then went on to say you guys got really close.
Oh, that's positive. Here's the thing, Andrew. I'm not just.
You are just big noting because it's fun to.
But
say
it's exciting. No, it's exciting to make. It's exciting to make a birthday cake for your 3-year-old child.
It's exciting to make the promise of making it. But the actual making it, you won't find exciting.
This thrill. I don't want taken from this father. 131060. Have you been a cake hero? coming off very little cake training, did you step up on the day for your child or niece or nephew and make an absolutely stunning cake like I'm about to make for Sonny's birthday with a 3D Mac?
Can I say...
By the way, he's getting 2 cakes. Zoe's not giving... She's buying the backup cake.
That's what I was about to ask. I was going to say Zoe can't have a backup cake.
Oh, she's going to. She won't let me do this by myself. Okay, well. But if my cake's the best, then the backup cake will be given to charity. It'll be sent down. We'll walk up and down the street handing it out to people, and Sonny doesn't need to know about the other cake.
Well, I look forward to eating the backup cake at the party.
Yes, which I invited you to.
I look forward to seeing your sloppy mess.
Sonny will go nuts with the 3D Mac.
13, 10, 60 in the meantime.
Cake heroes.
Have you been a cake hero?
The Hamish and Andy Show.
Hamish, leading into Sonny's 3rd birthday.
Throwing my chef's hat in the ring, Ando.
You said you'll be a cake hero. Essentially what's happened, though, is you're like Maggie in the opening titles of The Simpsons. You are getting to make a cake.
Precious member of the family.
But when she's driving and she thinks she's actually driving the car, but she's just got a little plastic pracky one because...
Car goes where she wants it to go, though.
Because Zoe's buying a cake and you're just doing the backup one.
No. Zoe's buying a backup cake. I'm doing the feature.
Well, that's in your head. That's how it's been told to you. But
I promise you that's what's happening because Zoe's buying a 2D representation of the character Mater from the Disney film Cars. 2D's fine, but it ain't going to blow a 3-year-old's mind. I'm making a 3D Mac, who's a big Mack truck, who's Lightning McQueen's best friend, and has a real-life opening door on the back of the cake, an edible door.
You're making it by yourself?
I'm going to make it by myself.
No help.
Well, no help, no. I mean, I'm going to use recipes and stuff for the cake.
Yes.
But it's going to have a hollowed-out trailer, and it's going to have an edible door and an edible hinge. Which I think will probably be the first edible hinge in cake history. So that's huge. And instead of being carried out of this studio on your shoulders, you've been skeptical. that bothers me.
And you've put the call out on 131060 for cake heroes out there to find the ons, to inspire you. Simon, ahoy, bud.
Ahoy, boys.
Ahoy, Simon.
You a cake hero?
Did you a cake hero? Did you answer the call to a child's birthday?
I did, Ham. Much like you, my wife doubted my skills, and it was a pride issue, and I had to take it to the next level.
It is like me.
So I made my daughter's Minnie Mouse cake and freehand it was 2D, I will admit, but freehand the icing drawing of Minnie Mouse on the top off an image off the web.
That's a risky move, Simon. I tried to draw Peppa Pig the other day and... Geez, I ended up with some sort of elephant mutant. It's quite hard to freehand what you think will be quite simple characters.
Did you succeed, Simon?
I aced it. I actually was asked to draw it on a piece of paper beforehand to prove my skills.
Yep.
And I cheated and traced it without them knowing.
Yep.
And showed them that.
Yes.
This is the game. That's the game. I thought you were going to say you were asked by Disney to come and draw Minnie Mouse. So from now on, we'd like you to do it.
Thanks, Simon. John, you're a cake hero as well.
Ahoy, boys.
Ahoy, John. How old was the birthday cake you were making? What?
Oh, geez, I've made all the kids' cakes since they were first born.
Legend. Any official training, or did you just feel it as a father?
No, just it started off with my partner. She tried to make the cake, the train cake off the family circle or kids' cake book, and it didn't go too well. So saved it.
Cake hero, Johnny boy.
But we've had Spider-Man rockets. We've had a PlayStation 4 with controller.
Listen to this.
Hey, John,
never made a hinge.
Did your kids get a PlayStation 4? Because
it's a pretty.
They got a real one as well.
Yeah, it's a bit sad when they go to stick a disc in that cake.
It is a bit rough to go, hey guys, I bought you a thrilling novel, but I made you a PlayStation 4 as your birthday cake.
John, wonderful. Pete, this has turned into cake gloating.
Which I hope to be doing in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
Pete, ahoy. Have you been a cake hero? You made your kid's birthday cake off little to no cake training?
Ahoy, yeah. I just kind of really want to advise you strongly against this.
Yes.
Pete, come on.
Pete, you are sensible. You obviously know what Hamish is capable of performing.
No, well, if he's like me, he's probably capable of absolutely nothing.
That's exactly where I had him pitched.
Yeah, my little boy is just turned 3.
Yep.
And he's a big Paw Patrol fan.
Yep.
And so I made him a Paw Patrol chase police car in 3D with wagon wheel wheels and jelly bean lights, and he's just done a wee wee, and
he's just doing a wee wee. Yeah, always good to let the nation
5
know.
hours.
5 hours, Pete.
5 hours.
And were you happy though with the end result?
Oh, it's amazing. But honestly, it was 5 hours of my life I'll never get back.
I mean, this is what we do for our children, Pete. I mean, I'll probably get mine in under 4.
You're not going to spend.
It just depends, Ando, how difficult the edible hinge is.
Yeah. I bet
I know we've lost Pete
Can-
now,
can
but
we have
I bet Pete's police car didn't have a hinge on the boot.
Can we have a side bet between you and I that
Of
your
course.
cake doesn't get used?
What do you mean used?
As in, it's not the
main cake.
yes.
So it might make an appearance at the birthday, sort of like when they brought out the criminal in medieval England, and everyone just threw tomatoes at him, and then the king came out.
Yeah.
It will be used as the main cake. Oh, hang on a sec. Is Ange? Someone's called in that's made this cake.
You've made the exact cake Hamish is planning on making.
Yes, I made it for my husband's 30th birthday.
Yep.
He wanted Mack from Disney's Cars.
And it had an edible hinge.
We didn't have edible hinges, but
Oh.
he is the biggest Cars fan, and the Mack is his favourite character out of the whole movie.
Pretty good. He's a cool truck, Mac. What stopped you from doing an edible hinge?
Well, probably time, but
Yeah.
If you were going to create an edible hinge, and what would you make it out of?
I don't know. Maybe you could try using licorice or pretzels or something.
I'm thinking a long pretzel. Pretzel with licorice loops.
That's not what you're thinking. And that's just sticking something on. That's not a hinge that works.
No, long pretzel hinge with loops going around the pretzel.
Okay.
Thank you, Ange. And not hard, Ange. Not hard to make. Not hard to make the rest of Mac though.
No,
It's just...
the rest of it was pretty good. It's pretty simple. It's all pretty straightforward.
No, it's got its difficulties too. Thanks, Ange. Should have got back to you. Thank you, Ange. No, it is difficult, Ando.
I just said easy as you like. Piece of cake.
Not the edible hinge though. See, you back it out. And yesterday on the show, I floated an ambitious plan, driven by the love of a father to try and provide for his child.
No, it's not driven by that at all.
It definitely is. I want to make my son's absolute day on his birthday.
It's driven
and I'll
by,
stop at nothing to do it.
It's driven by arrogance, large statements.
Cease and desist. Cease and desist.
It's driven by large statements being made, being called rubbish, and then not a willingness not to retreat.
I've dug in and I've fortified my position. I claimed on the show yesterday that I shall be making my son's 3rd birthday cake.
No cake making experience. You've also declared it will be a 3D truck with a back door that is with an edible
hinge.
Edible hinge.
The edible hinge is the thing that's captured a nation's attention. It has. I've been getting a lot of
it's just going to be
a digital reach out.
A TV snack on its side. It's not going to actually hinge the door.
You goose, if you don't think I'm making the world's... Here's the interesting part about this.
Yeah.
Just to quickly paint the picture for people, it's a semi-trailer I'm making. His name's Mack. He's from the movie Cars. Now, Lightning McQueen lives inside Mack. One of the key features of Mack is his ramp that goes down. Lightning drives up into his house. He's got like a studio in there, and his wheels get washed. I'm not doing all that stuff, but I will make it so Lightning McQueen can drive up the ramp, and the ramp can go up. I'm not even sure if I should say what I told you this morning, Jack. The next bit I'm thinking of adding.
Well, can I just say this? Can I ask this? Will the ramp go up, like with just like one finger it goes up?
Yep.
And so it'll hinge in
and it'll stay up.
And it'll stay up, and then one
and
finger
it can go back down.
It can go back down. Okay.
Now listen.
And the hinge it's hinging on won't fall off, and it's edible.
That's right. It's an edible hinge. Now this doesn't exist in the cake world. I thought it would because I thought, someone must have done this, but no surprises.
So you've got to anchor the hinge somehow to the main cake, but have it.
Yep. so it can go up and down,
Greased
and down.
enough to
Well, Lightning has to go in and out, different races. He gets driven all over the country by Mack.
Yep.
I Googled edible hinge online going, I'll just see what other people are making their edible hinges out of. No one's done one. No one's ever done one. Of course so I thought I'd call a cake store today to hit them with the idea that I'm going to make an edible hinge and just see if it blew their mind. Have a listen to this.
Cake decorating.
Yeah, hi there. How's it going?
Good, thanks.
I wanted to talk to someone about the concept of making a cake. It's sort of a semi-trailer shaped. It's based on one of the characters from the movie Cars.
Right.
He's called Mack. He's Lightning McQueen's best friend.
Yep.
So it's a semi-trailer.
Yep.
But at the back of the semi-trailer, the door comes down. There's an edible hinge.
Yeah. That's cool.
Have you ever made an edible hinge?
Well, it would bend. You just put it onto icing. You'd have to...
No, it can go down and up. It's an edible hinge.
Yeah, edible hinge, okay. You'd have to just use layers of rice paper.
That seems more like a fold.
Yeah.
This is an edible hinge.
That's bendable, hey?
Bendable's not a hinge, though, is it? I mean, when you have a
it's the
door...
nearest you're going to get, mate.
Well, is it? When you have a door on your house, they don't go,
Yeah.
we'll just put wood here and you just bend it in and out. You know, they put a hinge on it. Sorry, I should point out here, I'll be making this.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know I'm going to make an edible hinge and make cake history.
Yeah, all right. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
You've never heard of it being done, though, have you?
No. But I'm sure you're the man to do it.
Are you relieved I'm not giving you the job?
I am.
Well, I'll take care of it from here.
Good on you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks
Bye.
for your time. Yeah. I don't think they get too many people calling up with
brag.
a cake order that's mostly just bragging. Okay, so I'm sitting there I'm sitting in the studio pacing back and forth today going, okay, edible hinge. I'm doing some blueprints and I'm drawing up some mock ideas about how I'm going to make this edible hinge. Thinking no one, like it's just now between, it's this room and I've talked to this cake guy, but not expecting to have made too many ripples in the world. Then the phone rings, Ando. Hello?
Matt, I hear you're trying to make an edible hinge.
Who's this?
Matt, don't you worry about who I am.
Well, I will worry who this is. Thank you very much. How did you get this number?
Nah, seriously, don't worry.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Yes?
You're on the right track with the edible hinge. A lot of people are going to tell you can't do it, bro, but it's been done once before in the 1800s, and I believe you could do it again.
Tell me more. Send me schematics. Something.
Nah, man, I've said too much. I've got to go. You'll probably never hear from me again, unless maybe tomorrow I've got something else to add. See ya.
Who are you? Don't go. Interesting, though.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
I actually was almost willing to give up after the cake store, and then this secretive, nameless man, who's obviously pretty well connected in the cake world, has called me and gone, "You're onto something," and he close and he wants to see me do this world first edible hinge. So I won't give up. Another update probably tomorrow.
I hope so. Haim.
What's up, Ando? Do you want a cake update?
You promised me one.
Yep. Look, very interesting. A very interesting world I find myself in now. Being a non-baker and having no cake experience. Of course, a few days ago, I made the decision and the claim that I would be baking my son's 3rd birthday cake.
Yep.
I've got a few weeks.
3.5.
3.5 weeks to produce the goods.
I'm counting it down, mate. I'm excited.
I know you are. And I'm excited as well, and the cake industry is excited because what I'm actually attempting to do is a world first. No one's ever done it before. I'm making a semi-trailer cake.
Actually, it's been done before. The part that hasn't been done before is...
edible hinge.
Yes.
On the back of the semi-trailer, if people are familiar with the Disney film Cars, Mack is the big red semi-trailer. He's got like all semi-trailers, or like a lot of car-based semi-trailers, not all semi-trailers, some have an out-swinging door. Mack's back door is a bottom-hinged ramp that comes down so the star of the film, Lightning McQueen, can drive up the ramp and live inside Mack. Now, some of the trailer will be a cavity.
Yes.
But not all of it.
You won't be able to park a car in there, but that's what
I will be able to park a little car in there. Oh, of course I will.
A little car, like a Matchbox car?
No, well...
to scale?
No, the car's size car.
Okay.
Like a little toy cars. You know, people that have got kids who know the standard Lightning McQueen car, the little
so that's going to make
die-cast
it even
one.
harder for you?
No, what? That's perfect. It'll actually be a bit bigger. It'll be quite roomy in there for that little guy, but it won't go all the way up to the cabin. It won't be a completely empty trailer.
Yes.
I'd say about a third of the trailer will be a
gosh.
cavity, and there will be some detail inside the trailer.
This is all new news. This is just... This is just, again, the list of things go on and on about what you're going to be.
I've showed some restraint.
And we...
I didn't say it would be a completely empty trailer.
We'll see nothing of this.
You will see something, and it will be just as I prophesized.
The edible hinge.
Here's the thing about the edible hinge. Everyone's been saying to me, mate, just use toothpicks. Just use, whatever. Use a stick. That's what cake people do. I spoke to a cake guy yesterday. He's like, mate, just use rice paper and fold it down.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Like, mate, you can't ask me to present that to my son. He'll storm out.
Yep.
I might never see him again.
Yep.
I've promised him an edible hinge. It's all he's talking about. Dad, when's my edible hinge cake? Could I just have a cake of hinges?
Yeah.
Maybe... last night he said to me, Dad, maybe everyone could have, instead of a lolly bag, an edible hinge to take home and they could use it at their house. And I said, let's just calm down, Sonny. Your dad doesn't even quite know how he's going to do it yet before you start offering.
I've got a couple of ideas, actually.
I've got some, right? Everyone's been, the thing is, this has caught everyone's attention. I've had so many emails coming in also from overseas, from podcasters going, have you thought about this? Thought about a musk stick?
Yeah.
Don't make me laugh. The friction on a musk stick would be furious.
Yeah.
I was in the studio today, though. Yeah. Look, the thing is, I've got my idea, right? Okay. I've got my plan. It involves custom-built marzipan and a few other tricks.
Okay.
And I was in the studio today sketching away on my blueprints, right?
Yep.
I come and spend a few hours on the edible hinge each day.
Yes.
I'm sketching away. I didn't think anyone knew I was in the studio.
Yeah.
Then I get a phone call from my cake insider.
Yeah.
Right? Have a listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, so where's my graphics calculator? Hello?
Matt, I hear everyone's trying to throw ideas at you for this edible hinge.
Yeah, it's really clouding my vision.
Don't let it. Stay true to your vision, bro. You're close.
Thank you. I do have a very clear vision.
I believe you.
Yeah. I mean, but if people also have very clear visions, I'm obviously happy to hear them.
Oh, yeah, of course, Matt. I mean, you're not an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep them coming in, for sure.
Yeah, keep your visions coming in. Anyway, I have to go. I've said too much.
Wait, who are you? I must know.
Okay. My full and real name is... Freeze! Cake police!
Hello? No, wait!
Oh my God, the cake police. I've got to go.
Oh, cake police nearly got him. Damn.
Oh, God.
Very interesting call.
A call designed for you to get people to write in with ideas.
No.
Yep.
As I said, I have a very clear vision of what I'm doing.
But if other people have clear vision, you'd love to hear from them.
I did not say I'd love to hear from them. I said it'd be rude to ignore them. And so they are coming in at HamishAndy.com.
He's already floundering, everyone.
I said I've got a clear vision, and I also appreciate and respect other people's clear visions, which is a sign of a true leader.
Can you write down your clear vision for me, and I'll put it in an envelope?
I'll say this.
Yeah.
No. In 3 weeks' time, Ando, I head to the kitchen to create my masterpiece for my son's 3rd birthday. I'm going to make him his birthday cake, and I've decided to...
You're going to make it on the Friday morning?
Wednesday's party on the weekend. I'll probably start making it on the Thursday. This is... I don't want to bore you.
Are we going to see it in here?
I'll show you a couple of demos, couple of prototypes, but I don't want to bore you with how you do this because you're not really a cake guy, and I am in the cake world now. You make your sponge early and you freeze it so you can sculpt it a little easier when it's frozen. A little trick of the trade. You probably don't get it. So yeah, I'll be making.
Jack's hating you just as much as I am.
That is natural to fear competence and mastery. Dates back to when we were apes, and I'm a bigger, stronger, smarter ape, you're the ones just picking nits off each other, angry that I'm getting all the babes in the tribe.
You are an ape.
I'm a cake ape, and so I will be developing stuff that week. So yeah, you'll get a little squiz of stuff, and I've got to make up, because I'm making a semi-trailer for people that aren't aware of what's happening. A red semi-trailer from the Disney Cars film, Mack. He's a Mack truck, and the piece de resistance on the cake
is the edible hinge.
At the back. Mack's
every part edible.
Every part edible.
No.
You were suggesting yesterday Chubba Chub Sticks and all this craziness, like you hadn't been listening to the show. Edible hinge. That's why it's a world first. That's why I've got everyone in the cake world going, you're mad, you can't do it.
Yeah.
That's why I've rattled the establishment. And that's why even Cake Boss, that guy off the reality show, has contacted me. He's written to me saying, back off.
Yeah, right.
And I've said no.
No.
The back trailer will come down.
Yes.
And Mac will be able to drive in. So the edible hinge is well into development. One side note I wanted to talk about briefly was I had an idea. I got a little bit cocky last night as I was explaining this to my wife. I was in the bedroom saying as though, she was like, how's the edible hinge going? I said, yeah, really good. I've got a lot of good ideas, got a pretty clear vision of how I'm going to do it.
Yes.
People have been writing in with so many suggestions.
But please don't write in with suggestions.
Well, we've had about 100.
I know, but please don't. I see them as well because the whole point is you don't have a clear vision. You're going to steal someone's.
A couple of them were pretty close to what I'm thinking about. Here's the thing. I said to Zoe, edible hinge will be fine. When that door comes down, said, and the theatre happens, wait till you see Sonny's face. And she said, what do you mean the theatre happens? And I realised I've said too much because I was going to do something without telling her. And she went, what happens when the door comes down? And I said, oh, don't worry about it. And she went, unfortunately, she guessed correctly what I've been thinking. She went, you're not putting dry ice in the back of the cake? I said, well, I am, because I want to have a little laser in there, like a little disco ball. So when the back door opens, smoke billows out and you can get lasers through the lights. She went,
edible laser?
Not edible laser. Unfortunately, not edible. I looked. She was like, do not put dry ice on the cake. I said, I think I will. Just one cube of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, what if a kid grabs it and puts it in their mouth? I was like, yeah, there's going to be some 3-year-olds around.
Yep.
I said, but I can have security or a bollard or something. Or like a roped off, a VIP area. Stand back, kids. This cake's too advanced for you to be near. But, get a good posse. Have a look. Anyway, she banned me. She was like, well, you're absolutely not allowed to put dry ice in the cake. So I've been dealing with that creative setback a little bit.
Annoying.
And I didn't think anyone knew about the dry ice, right? So earlier today when I'm here in the studio, when I was working away on my prototypes, right? Can you imagine my shock when the guy that's been calling me from inside the cake industry?
Yeah, I know the guy.
This informer. I'm working away on my sketches and the phone rings. God, what am I missing here? Maybe I need to be working with pi to 1,000 digits instead of 100. Oh, hello?
Mate, it's me. You're getting even closer with your work on the edible hinge.
Oh, thank you. I feel really confident. Hey, are you safe? I was worried about you yesterday.
Yeah, I am. Thanks for asking. I'm actually just baking a cake now. Hey, listen, but forget about this dry ice stuff.
You sure?
I don't know. Seems pretty dangerous to be around 3-year-olds.
I can understand that, but I was going to have security around the cake when I showed off the back of it.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Or maybe like a small roped-off area.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I reckon that'll work. Maybe don't give up on it. Have a think about it. Now, listen. There's one ingredient you're forgetting with the edible hinge. Listen closely.
Oh, good. Please tell me, because I think Andy thinks, you actually just called me up to pad out this segment because I don't have that many updates on the edible hinge, but...
Mate, that couldn't be further from the truth. I got a lot of things to say. Oh, my God! It's a bear! Matt, he must have smelled the cake I was making!
Oh, my God. Are you okay?
Run! Run from the bear, everyone! Ah!
Okay.
So close again to getting info. I was so close. You have to admit.
Haim, I need an update on your...
Edible hinge.
Edible hinge.
Edible hinge. That'll mean nothing to you guys, but
He's cooking a cake for his 3-year-old son for his birthday, and he said he'll cook an edible hinge, and it's a truck that he's building.
It's Mack from the movie Cars. I'm making the back of the truck work. It's an edible hinge, fully edible, no matchsticks, no skewers.
Cake makers across the world have said it can't be done.
And maybe it would inspire you to do another song. What do you reckon? Would you ever do a song called Edible Hinge?
Yeah.
Yep. You got binge, you got ninja, you got lots of rhyming words in there.
It's up next.
This is the Hamish and Andy Show podcast.
And Edible Hinge update. You might think my silence on cooking and constructing my son's birthday cake has been because I forgot to do anything. How wrong you would be, my friend.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
How do you know that I haven't been every single night scrolling away back in my cave?
Do you know how many days till the birthday?
Yeah,
party?
It's not this weekend.
No.
I had a minor freak out, it was. It's the weekend after this one.
Yeah.
And so I still have plenty of time. I've actually probably got time to have 4 failed attempts.
Yeah.
Before I get it right.
You have time to do that. You won't do it.
How do you know I haven't been at home every night sketching, thinking, pacing up and down, yelling at the cat to stop meowing, yelling things like, silence, I'm trying to think.
Because, and call me the mentalist here, but I have a strong hunch you haven't, because I know what you've been up to.
I've found out some things recently. For those that don't know, I'm trying to essentially make a semi-trailer cake in the shape of a standard semi-trailer, 3D cake, with an edible hinge. The back door goes down. That's the bit that has got Australia talking and has got the world talking. With
And got you pretty quiet over the last 2 weeks.
No, it got me thinking. I'm hearing all of the talk, but I can't butt in if everyone else is talking. Can I put a message out to people though?
Yep.
Stop sending me videos, like direct messages and stuff on Instagram and Twitter of you doing the edible hinge. Yeah. Okay.
Have they pulled it off? Have people pulled it off?
Well, people are trying. People are going, what about this? And I've had some people just like doing like talking to camera going, what about this? I'll be fine. Okay. I understand the world first. Someone did one out of icing and showed me that it would break. I knew that. Yep. All right. I'm already looking at toffee and other harder substances for the edible hinge. Okay. Someone sent one in. Someone had a toothpick in it.
Yep.
And I just was like, I reported them to Twitter to get them banned because they're obviously someone that doesn't pay enough attention on Twitter, which is one of the big rules. You can get kicked off for that. So I understand the buzz. Like I do get it. It's an exciting thing. It's always exciting when someone's breaking a boundary and pushing science past where we thought it was possible.
Yep.
So now it seems that it's not just bakers at home bakers and pro bakers that are trying to steal my edible hinge invention.
Yep.
News came in. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay. News came in. Yeah. The new iPhone is obviously rumored to be released sometime this year.
Yeah.
And I got some audio from they obviously don't just do the announcement cold, like they rehearse it. I have a bit of audio from one of the guys at Apple, like practicing the keynote, and it looks like the edible hinge has snuck its way into the iPhone.
Tim and Johnny have told you that there is a beautiful new refined design for
edible hinges.
We're going to cover it with 10 major
edible hinges.
It starts with this new finish we call
icing and toffee.
The new integrated
hinges
are built so subtly you can barely see them at all anymore. And of course, the enclosure creates the housing for the
Lightning McQueen toy.
It is a beautiful new design, and it looks very cool, very high tech,
and very delicious.
Hang on. I'm confused about the conceit. Like, was that meant to be like the new iPhone
has edible hinges?
Or because that he didn't mention the phone at all? If I was going to do that,
no, he's just saying the phone has that stuff.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Okay. Because
what's the problem?
Well,
I mean, I can't tell them what audio to send me. That's just the leaked audio I got from inside Cupertino, California.
You spent so much more time on that than anything to do with baking.
I'm just saying. Edible hinges are sweeping the world.
Yep.
Even the bloody iPhone guys are putting them on the new iPhone. That's not difficult. Catch up. Like, Jack, you understand that.
Well, that means everybody's going to have one and yours isn't going to be special anymore.
Yes, Jack gets it, so I'm racing to market.
Okay.
I'm against Apple.
That puts more pressure on.
That makes it more exciting. God, now we're following.
Hey, 5 days away from the cake, the birthday cake you vowed to make for your son.
He knows about it too, Ando. Yeah. I've accidentally, a couple of weeks ago, I was obviously more confident about this cake.
Yeah.
And I talked it up around the house.
Oh, you've done all your favourite bits. You've done your 3 weeks of talking it up to everybody.
The glory, not the deed. When really, it should be the reverse. Yeah. But I'm full of confidence. And I was full of confidence going into the weekend because I had my weekend mapped out ahead of me. I had a pretty gentle weekend. I thought, look, a couple of few things on, but not a lot. I've actually had, I thought, as many as 12 to 18 hours across the weekend where I could be, maybe even with Sonny, doing test cakes and starting to get my head around the actual cake making aspect.
The cake itself is semi-trailer Mack, the character from Cars. Yep. It's semi-trailer, and you're going to have an edible hinge because the back of the trailer will fold down for a car to drive into.
That's right. There'll be a little toy car in the back, little toy Lightning McQueen. It'll blow Sonny's mind, and it'll be great. Well, now, the edible hinge is coming along. It's still theoretical, and I'm working on that. The actual cake side of things, you can't forget the cake.
Yep.
I had all this time mapped out. I unfortunately started coming down with a bit of a cold on Saturday. You would know because you don't care. You don't care. So and I can attest that because I went to Yumcha with John and he said, you seem a bit sniffly. I said, yep, I think I'm getting a cold. I think Andy's giving me a cold because we had a cold last week, didn't you?
Take the weekend off.
Did you or not? Did you or did you not have a cold last week?
I had a cold
You had a cold and I think you gave it to me, but I'm not blaming you, although I'm certainly putting some dots up to be joined. Went to Yumcha with John. He said, you seem sniffly. I said, oh, look, I'm going to power through. I've got to go home and make this cake.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Shouldn't have gone to Yumcha.
Well... Dumplings are sometimes the second best medicine behind laughter. I unfortunately, I think the mixture of dumplings, tea, alcohol, it blew me apart. My body wasn't ready for it.
Yes.
It pushed me into a dark place. I had a ferocious cold Saturday afternoon going into Sunday. Wasn't quite able to get the cake making done. The only thing
We have a go tonight. There.
The only thing I tried to do on the weekend was make coconut pancakes for the family. Sunday morning, traditionally, we do pancakes. Yeah. I opened the pantry and found a packet of coconut flour. And I went, oh, what's this? As I was still in bed, I went, I've never heard of coconut flour before. I'll make healthy pancakes, I thought. Just should be the same as normal flour. So I just put eggs and milk and coconut flour and whisked it up. I went, that's about right.
Yeah.
Put the pan on, dumped this stuff on, and it was like this wet coconutty pile. I looked at the back of the coconut flour. Do you know what coconut flour is? It's just coconut.
Yeah.
It's just minced up coconut. So essentially I was cooking wet, eggy, milky coconut on the pan.
A sign of the skill level that
so I had a bad weekend in the kitchen. So this morning I was in here obviously working away, and I thought, you know, this guy that's been calling me, this cake informant from within the cake industry, he's probably lost all faith in me because I haven't done what I said I'd do, and I'm now right up against it. So luckily I had the recording equipment on as I was pacing back and forth this morning. Damn it. Come on, call me. I knew it. I knew he'd never call me again. My lack of cooking has ruined his faith in me. God, I've let the whole baking community down. Oh. Hello?
Mate, it's me. I just wanted to say you haven't let the baking community down, and I have total faith in you.
Whoa, did you hear me just now?
No.
Incredible.
Matt, you're going to do great this weekend.
But, you know, I didn't get much baking done this last weekend.
Yeah, but weren't you sick?
Yeah, but...
Mate, you can't bloody bake when you're sick. You can't go to the fridge when you've got a cold. You're going to get even sicker.
No, that's a good point. But do you think I'm ready?
But what about the pancakes?
Yeah, but they didn't work.
Yeah, but they show that you're experimenting. Mate, you're much closer than you think to creating the greatest and first edible hinge of all time.
Oh, thank you. That's really a huge confidence boost.
No worries. Now listen, the secret is this.
Yes?
You just have to...
Cake SWAT team! Oh no, eat my hinge, SWAT team!
Hang on, wait a second. You've cooked one?
Nah, mate, no one has. It's just a saying we all use there in the baking community.
Oh, cool.
We gotta go!
See ya. So things getting pretty intense for that guy. Still
Put
never
some
got his...
time into baking the cake.
Yeah, and he said I'm a lot closer
Stop
than I think.
ringing yourself. Stop ringing yourself.
First you make me sick, and now you level these baseless accusations.
Bake the cake, man. Oh, it's Hamish and Andy.
Oh, that's too much from you.
We waited for your son to leave before I brought this up because on Saturday, it's his birthday, and you promised to make a cake for him.
Got my work cut out for me, Ando. For those familiar with the hit Disney film Cars, Mack is the semi-trailer. It's his favourite character. And a semi-trailer wouldn't be complete without a ramp that comes down at the back. Now, what do you have at the bottom of a ramp? You have a hinge. Hey, hang on a sec. That's a 3-year-old's birthday cake. Don't use a toothpick. Don't use a skewer. No. A fully edible hinge. The world's first. I promised.
So
and that is
the reason
cake.
why I need to bring this up with you is today you bought me a cake.
Yes, I did, which I thought was a nice thing
When
to
I
do.
got into work, there was a cake there, and I said, oh, that's nice.
Not just any cake, a thoughtful cake.
It was a golf ball cake.
And what ball do they use in the sport that you like?
Golf ball. So I was very thoughtful.
You're welcome.
But it did prick my suspicion. I was like, what's he doing at a cake store?
Don't worry about that. Worry about the nice gesture I gave you.
So I thought to myself, what are you doing at a cake store? And I thought I'd ask
doing a
you,
nice thing.
But instead I rang the cake store.
Damn it. I'm doing a very nice thing for you. I was just buying you... I was obviously there to get supplies because you can't make a cake from scratch.
It just seems to me, Han, that someone else is doing the bulk of the work for this cake coming up.
Take that back.
Tell me exactly what the guy from the cake store's doing.
Well, nothing. I was just there to buy some supplies because I need icing. I need fondant.
Yes.
Right? You can't make your own bloody fondant.
But all the ingredients you have, and if you say you're going to make a cake, all those ingredients are at a supermarket.
Mate, it's not like I've got to put colouring in and roll it out. Because I went and I said, look, can you get... I pointed to the cakes in there, and I went, I'm making this. And he goes, are you? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do this myself, which I realised as it was coming out of my mouth was a bit insulting to go, this thing that you've made a business out of.
Yeah,
I'm just going to do this. And I went, what have you got on the cake? Is that icing or what is it? He goes, it's fondant. I went, all right, well, do you sell it in sheets? Because I'll need quite a lot of it. He goes, no, you don't sell it in sheets. I went, well, give us a lump. He went, well, we don't sell lumps. I went, well, how do you get it? And it's in a big sausage. So I was in there to order a couple of sausages of fondant, which is the icing.
Shouldn't you be making the icing? If you're making the cake.
What's the diff, mate?
Well, the diff is you're not making it.
Well, I'm putting it on the cake.
Yeah, I know.
But where's the line? I mean,
the line is, are you baking this cake?
Well, if you get flour, shouldn't you have milled the wheat? Is that cheating?
No.
So where's the line?
There's the line.
I might not have. I didn't milk the cow, Andy. I didn't milk the cow for the milk. I bought it from a man in a carton.
When you ask where's the line, I think we've found the line. Yeah, that's a basic ingredient.
What I'm saying to you is, you buy different ingredients at different levels of preparation the whole way along.
Yeah. So is this guy making cake for you?
No, he's not. I'm not going to the cake shop. I didn't say to him,
How
I want
much,
a mac cake.
So if
I went out this morning and here's what I bought. I put in an order for fondant. I bought the milk, the flour, the eggs, the sugar, all the things you need.
Yes. And?
Huh?
And?
A cake board.
No, and?
And the fondant.
And what else did this guy get ordered from?
Oh, and the little golf ball cake.
There's nothing else that you ordered from this cake, mate.
The cake, the flour and the sugar and the eggs, I will get in some assembled form.
Yes, from him.
He's giving me the flour, the sugar, the eggs, the milk.
But he's mixed it. Will you be doing any mixing?
I will do some mixing.
When will you mix?
I will mix on Friday night.
No, you won't.
Look, he's helping me with a few base mud
A guy's
cakes.
making the cake.
No.
You've outsourced the cake. I know what you've done.
It's their square cakes, and I'm assembling it into the mac shape and putting all the fondant on.
Yeah, you're cutting up a pre-made cake.
I'm building cakes. So sorry that I wanted to say the kitchen at home on the eve of a birthday party from unnecessary mess. I'll still be in there slaving away making all the toffee for the edible hinge. You don't even know. I went to a big whoop. The milk, the flour, the sugar, the eggs that I bought will happen to come heated up and cooled down in a square shape. It's still buying the stuff.
You've bought a cake.
I have not bought a cake.
Yes, you have.
I've ordered a cake. But I will assemble it into the shape. That's just the raw materials.
No, you've bought a cake and you're going to make it into a different type of cake.
If I buy a log, have I bought a table? I have not bought a table. I bought a log. And I will craft it into a table later, and I should get the credit as the table maker.
Okay. Here's what's happened.
We're out of time.
It's IKEA. You've gone to IKEA and you think you've made a table. You haven't, mate. You've assembled the table.
No,
what you're doing
a lot
is
more assembly required.
You're assembling a cake.
I've gone to the people IKEA buy their stuff off.
Sonny, I'll assemble a cake for your birthday.
And some mixing is required.
Not
the fondant comes plain. The fondant comes plain. I have to colour the fondant myself.
You haven't made it.
I am making a cake for my son's birthday, driven by a father's love.
Assembling. Tomorrow there is a party.
Yeah, it is my little boy's third birthday party.
Yes.
There will be 2 cakes in attendance.
One made by a professional.
Which is the backup.
Not you.
Which is insultingly called the backup cake by
and
my
then
wife. Or the
second
real
one,
cake. She often calls it the real cake.
A second one also made by a professional.
Incorrect.
But Hamish has then taken that and tried to assemble it and pass it off on his
All right.
own.
We're not going to get into the whole legalities of who made a cake, who didn't make a cake.
Because it's pretty cut and dry.
It's actually cut and moist. And it's all I did was I went to a shop.
Mate,
is this a crime? I went to a shop. I got eggs, milk, flour, sugar. Yes, it was mixed.
You're the Cassie Sainsbury. There's a lot of holes in your story.
And I can explain them all.
Okay.
Tonight I will be spending hours driven by nothing but a father's love, assembling my son's
He's finally used the word.
Cake. That's what baking is. I'll assemble a bit of milk in here, assemble a bit of sugar,
Pop
it in the car.
You've used the word make, you've used the word bake. It's nice to see those ones leave
I'm
your
making
vernacular.
it.
So
what else am I doing? Did a builder build a house even though he didn't make the bricks, Andy?
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. I'm building a house.
Okay.
And it's a cake-shaped house, right?
Anyway, so Sonny, you've also promised him an edible hinge, which is because a cake's a semi-trailer.
Semi-trailer.
It's a Mack truck, and the back is meant to fold down with an edible hinge.
It's a ramp, and Lightning McQueen, if you're familiar
What
with
are
the
you
movie
going to make
Cars.
it out of?
What?
The edible hinge.
Oh, wouldn't you like to know, mate?
Yes. I think everyone would, because you've talked about it for 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Stay tuned.
What? We're going on break.
It's a secret.
It's not a secret. It's a secret to you, I think.
Not a secret to me. And I was having I was doing my final calculations this morning in here in the office, And for people that have been listening to the show, there is a shady character in the cake world that has called me and at times offered advice and support as I go on this quest to make the hinge of that ramp. No one's ever made an edible hinge, by the way, before in their life. It's a world first. So as I'm figuring out the physics of this and how do I put together this cake, lo and behold, this morning, and I didn't think he would call, but he called for one last final time.
Maybe there's a different value for pi I could use. 3.12. Yes, that works. Hello?
Mate, it's me. Tomorrow's the day. You're so ready. You're going to blow the world away with this cake and edible hinge.
Oh, thanks, but Andy thinks I'm cheating because I bought a simple cake to be used in the much, much more elaborate cake that I'm making.
Man, is it Bill that's cheating because he doesn't make his own bricks?
That's exactly what I said. I just hope I do the cake community proud with the cake I make tonight, you know?
Mate, you've inspired the cake community in ways you couldn't possibly know.
But, like, how?
Well, man, if I told you, then you'd know.
Ah, so wise.
Listen, I've got to go.
Release the prisoner.
Whoa, where are you?
Man, I'm in cake jail using my one phone call they give you. And I'm in here because I bought a very simple base cake that I went on and used in a much more elaborate cake, and some snitch tried to get me locked up for it.
But you're being released, right?
Yeah, I'm being released because using a base cake is not a cake crime.
Your words.
Hey, man, I have to know. Tell me one thing, one secret ingredient that you're using to make the edible hinge.
Okay. Icing.
Ah, incredible.
I'll text you some pics over the weekend, man. Hello? He's gone. That's powerful.
I can't wait to see this piece of shit tomorrow.
Well, you're going to have shit on your face, mate, because I'm going to make you eat it.
You said you'd make a cake.
Yep.
You said you'd make a cake. You said firstly you'd bake a cake.
I think I said make. I think in the end we realised
for your son's birthday 2 weeks ago, his birthday, and it had to be a cake. Mack, the character from Cars,
a big red semi-trailer,
a 3D semi-trailer
Yep.
with enough space in the back to park Lightning McQueen inside it with a hinge that dropped down so he could drive out.
Well,
and the hinge had to be edible.
Sorry, the ramp to drop down, and a lot of people like a tray. A lot of people, if you're making such a cake, would go, okay, simply construct the ramp and have it in the open position, and that's fine.
Yes.
I said, no, that's not how trucks work. They're hinged. No, exactly. It wasn't a perfect working replica of a
Now,
truck.
can we say that you...
All I said was edible hinge.
You made a very good cake.
We can say that. We can say that for minutes.
You assembled a very good
Let's
cake.
not get into this, mate.
But-
Does a builder need to go and dig up the clay and make the bricks? No. He puts them together and he builds the house.
Yes. So Haim did outsource
And he makes the house.
cake part of the cake.
I bought 2 basic mud cakes. Big whoop. I basically bought sugar, flour, milk and eggs from a shop.
Assembled and baked.
Assembled in
But
some
what you
ratios with
did
some
do
heat added.
Is put and should go. We put it up on our Instagram, but you did assemble a fantastic cake. It looked great,
Mate, I was there in the kitchen with... I tell you the trouble of making
with
the
the help
cake.
of Hayden,
Hayden, who's a mate of ours and happens to live next door to me.
who's not a professional cake maker.
Not at all. In fact, was a professional heckler for hours before even him and my wife heckled me for the first 2 hours of the cake.
Yeah, he said that you were terrible.
Drinking beers. The big problem was I wanted to start the cake at about 5 or 6 o'clock the night before. I wanted to start it straight away. And it would have been 6 o'clock because I think we were on air the night before. As soon as I got home, I wanted to start doing it because I knew it would be a long task. I mucked around a bit, put Sonny to bed. I was like, I've got to have something to eat. I can't do a cake on an empty stomach. Then as I was heading towards the kitchen to make the cake, I walked past the TV. Team America was on. I mean, what a wonderful film. And I thought I'll just stay for a few jokes. But every line's a zinger. I mean, it dragged, and it just was like, well, I can't leave now because this is one of the best bits. And they're all the best bits. I can't leave when the cats come out. The cats are so funny. I watched Team America. Then at about 9:30 went, right, got to get down to making this cake. Then there was a period where I had what can only be described as a hissy fit. Laid all the ingredients out and went, oh, this is ridiculous.
And you did a late night run to Coles.
That's when we realised the first hinge idea that we were trying to do out of icing wasn't working. And so made it to Coles with about a minute to spare before midnight because our Coles shuts at midnight.
Yes.
But in the end, it was all done.
Tell everybody what you made the hinge out of.
In the end, the edible hinge was made out of a salada. 2 saladas, actually. One was hidden in the chassis of the truck.
Yes.
A salada, with very, very finely cut, like I had to Stanley knife out a couple of holes. And then it was sort of roped around. There was we managed to find at the supermarket, Coles brand, very thin
gummy
rope, essentially, which I can see having no taste value to someone. Really, it's a food that just has structural value. I couldn't believe we found it.
Yes. I wouldn't recommend real trucks using
Not
it.
structurally correct.
No.
And then there was so much icing around the salada to give it a grey appearance that it sort of made it go soggy and was very, very heavy. And
Here's my two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did the tray stay up by itself?
Who cares? I didn't say it would be a fully working tray. I said it would be an edible hinge. What does a hinge have to do?
So
a hinge must move.
Yes. And
next question.
Were you saying it was an eatable hinge or an edible hinge?
Edible. Technically edible. Now, at first, this question came up.
Because eatable is...
You can eat it.
Well, it sounds eatable is it's got to be marginally enjoyable or palatable.
Never said that.
Edible
is
possible. Consumed without danger.
And I think, as Sonny,
for instance,
I let Sonny eat a bit of the salada. He was confused because in his mind he doesn't understand sarcasm, and a lot of the hype I'd been building up around this cake was edible hinge. Sonny's got to the stage where anyone would say to him, "Hey, we're coming to your birthday on the weekend." He would say, "We're going to have a cake with an edible hinge." He didn't know what it meant, but he was so excited about it. To the point where now, and then I was showing him hinges on doors and how exciting it would be that the hinge on his cake could be eaten.
Yes.
To the point now, he'll point at a door and show me the hinge and go, "Daddy, look, there's a hinge." Like, hinges have actually become a thing that we bond over. It's our special thing. He thinks it's a grown-up thing to love hinges. So now he's actually obsessed with hinges. It's gone full circle.
One final question then, because Zoe, your beautiful wife,
That's her.
bought another cake on the day. There was two cakes there.
We just had a lot of guests.
No. Percentage-wise,
yep.
I saw a lot of people enjoying Zoe's bought cake.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. By the time I left, I hadn't seen anyone dive in.
It wasn't cut. My cake wasn't cut because...
Did anyone eat...
Out of respect.
No, did anyone eat your cake at all?
That day?
Ever?
Yes. Zoe left it constructed because she was like, we can't cut it up. She was actually quite proud of it. And I'd hollowed out the trailer. And I realised...
I've used a muskie as an upright, which I was impressed with.
It was sort of like a tunnel support in there. But I realised I'd actually hollowed out a lot of the cake.
Yeah.
To the point where it was like a hollow cake. It was just icing. And I didn't sleep the night before because there's this icing called fondant, which it mostly was. And I was just eating tons of icing as I was going. And I was wired. I didn't sleep till 6 o'clock in the morning the night before. I was wrecked for that party. So, no, I recommended that the children stayed away from the cake. Edible, but not eatable.